Hello, StarCraft fans! This is Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War upload! Today is a game between Goojila and Flash here on Outsider. On the left side of the map, a little bit up from center, is the teal Protoss player. His name is Goojila. And in the bottom rightish corner, I'm not quite there, is the white Terran player. It is Flash. Alright, so Flash versus Goojila, two huge names in the Brotoss. And the Brood War. The Brood War scene. I'm looking at Protoss, man, and I just go to Brotoss with it. I don't know why. It's a caster's curse, man. Sometimes your brain makes your mouth say things you are not prepared to say, but you must accept the consequences. We do have the APM doohickey up here. Somebody requested it. There's really nothing competing with it, as we don't have a production tab, we don't have a units lost tab, we don't have like income tab. It's just APM. Hopefully Brood War Remastered, which will come out soon. Did they move the date? I remember it was like August 8th, but I think it's the 19th now. They might have bumped it back a week, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with that. StarCraft Brood War Remastered is worth waiting for. We've waited, 20 years for it, so I think we can wait a little bit longer. Again, my background in StarCraft Brood War is I bought the original StarCraft the day it came out in 1998. A bunch of my friends and I went to, I believe, a Target, bought a copy. We played a LAN party into the night. I fell in love with Zerg right away, although Archons were incredible, and I've been playing StarCraft ever since. StarCraft 2 kind of took over my brain for a while when that was released. I was so excited for StarCraft 2. I've cast a lot of Legacy of the Void games, a lot of Heart of the Swarm games as well. Got my start about 2.5 years ago in this casting thing. And now here we are. Here we are casting Brood War. I didn't think I'd ever do this, honestly, but you know what? It was time. My game knowledge, I'll apologize in advance, maybe a little bit weak. I cast, what is it? Somewhere around 8 to 9 Legacy of the Void casts every single day of the week, and that gets a little bit nuts from time to time. And so it kind of takes over the parts of my brain that do the casting. But here we are at fastest, which is the speed this game is played at in StarCraft Brood War. Both players have their expansions up. Very happily mining as well. Got some Dragoons out. Does our friend Goojila here. And Flash. Let's see what Flash is going to do against this Protoss player. Yeah, I mean, it has been known to go that meching style, which is something that he's obviously known for, but he doesn't have to do that. He's not required to do that. Probe Scout from Goojila very nicely getting out of there, not dying to the Marines, as he easily could have done in the hands of a lesser player. That probe would have likely been dead against Flash, but Goojila knows what is up. Is he going for a third Nexus down here? He's already got a second one. Got a couple Dragoons and a Zealot defending it, and really no sign of aggression at all from Flash to this point. His expansion's up. He's getting minerals from it. There's actually not a gas expansion. What is this map? Okay, so there's the one gas expansion there, and are there any expansions with gas? I guess this one up top does have one. I am surprised. I'm surprised how few of these bases have gas at all. So, keep an eye on that. We'll see who the players are that need gas and who don't. Moving out with his double Dragoons, and his Zealot is Goojila. And then he's going to head on back home. Just wanted to make sure, I guess, the Terran player wasn't moving across the map to try to kill him at any point in time. Engineering Bay coming up, likely going to be used for those missile turrets that are so useful against air attacks from the Protoss player. Shuttles especially. Do those Reaver drops and DT drops and stuff. Makes you feel bad about yourself if you lose to that. So missile turrets provide detection and anti-air at the same time. It's a good thing to do. This probe just wants to make sure if Flash is going to move out, I'd like to know about it. That's all I'm saying. Oh, there is a Vespene Geyser here. All right, very good. Very good. So this third base that Flash is taking does have a Vespene Geyser. This just threw down a pylon. I guess this is just a scout for drops, I'd have to assume, up along this left side from the Terran player. Anyway, Goojila there it is, landing it. Look at that timing. The SCVs all come right on in, start mining happily. That's a sound that I like, is the sound of SCVs mining. It's one of the first sounds I ever heard in StarCraft, back when I was terrible at the game. I played a lot of Warcraft 2, but not well. I was pretty bad at it, but it was fun. Warcraft 2 was a really fun game. I think my cousin had it initially. I could play it at his house, but I didn't go there a whole lot. And then one day I was able to get my own copy, and a friend down the street got a copy, and it was a lot of good times for little Falcon Paladin playing Warcraft 2. Mostly playing, who did I like to play? I was more of a human player. Even back then, the Paladins just called to me with their ability to heal each other and heal other people in the army. And that was nice. All right, so second is third nexus up in the top left here is Goojila. And Flash is just, you know what? Flash has got his tanks for defense. He's got some Marines here. Got a tank inside this natural base-ish area. Got missile turrets all over the place. So observers have a hard time getting into scout is another thing this does. Got a floating engineering bay. Okay, so definitely not for upgrades. Can give you upgrades for your Marines and your fire bats, but no, not today. Not going to be used for that. Going to be floating out here to see if warp prisms are coming in. Both players are playing pretty defensively. I'm surprised we're 7 minutes into this thing and nobody's made a move. Templar Archives coming in. Storm, ooh, and an Arbiter Tribunal already. Here at the 7-minute mark. Woo! Very nice to see that for sure. All right, so I'm going to remember this time to put an overlay on this replay progress, you guys. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. If it's not there, I give you permission to come to my house and hit me on the head with a baseball bat. That's good motivation. That's good motivation to do something. Is if people are going to beat you to death with a bat if you don't. Observer comes in for the scout and just straight up commits suicide. Well, there's a base there. I'm glad you know that, but your observer is now dead. Is that first blood in this game? That might be first blood. As anything else died, I really wish I had a units lost tab, but I don't. So I'll make do with how this is going to be. Gateways coming in. A lot of gateways making an arbiter because of the Arbiter Tribunal here out of the Stargate. Natural, well, third base rather. Third base is now getting saturated again behind Flash's third base. There's not anything. You don't want to be behind Flash with anything here. Oh, an attack. An attack of Dragoons. Here we go. I assume they have range. I didn't check the cyber core to make sure that Dragoon range had been researched, and I can't tell if it was or not, but we're going to see very, very shortly if it was. And yeah, there we go. Some good range on those guys. Tanks firing on one of these Dragoons. Doesn't care. Takes out that scouting barracks. This tank very pleased with itself. That's a single kill. And Dragoon's just setting up a bit of a soft contain. Storm is not going to be as useful against this meching player. There are a bunch of Marines. If it could storm all of them, it'd be nice. Also storm against a Vulture who doesn't have many hit points would be pretty good as well. They're just too fast. They're really, really fast and dodgy. It's going to be Dragoons with the range, picking off tanks when they're not in siege. There we go. That's a nice pick-off by Goojila. Enjoying that one very much. Meanwhile, Zealots coming into play. We do like to see Warp Prism. Here we go. Warp Prism Zealot drops on top of tanks, causing the other tanks to splash damage on top of them. And there's really not a whole lot of anti-air here in Flash's army, so the Warp Prism should be able to get some nice drops. The Marines that are here, there aren't that many of them, and their upgrades are not that good. They have 0 and 0, to be specific. Dragoons. Oh, the Dragoons could harass the other side of this mineral line, except there's a tank perfectly positioned to hit them if they get close enough to kill any of these SCVs. Look at this. This is a player who's been playing for a long time. Vultures trying to chase away these Dragoons. Can't quite do it. Can't quite chase them all the way back home. They do pull back a tiny bit, though. We have Spider Mines? There we go. Spider Mines just must have finished. All right, so Spider Mines are massive. Spider Mines one-shot Dragoons when they hit. So the Dragoons need to be very, very careful. They can take them down from distance if they have detection with an observer. And they're careful with the micro. Sometimes their micro is stupid. Sometimes you tell them to go somewhere, and their pathing is dumb, and bad things happen. Arbiter comes in, takes a couple shots from these Marines, dropping the Zealots on top of the units, dying very quickly, as Vultures do so well against Zealots and Wings, these light units. This explosive damage that is done by these Vultures. That's what they were created for. And a lot of Spider Mines, as you just heard, coming up here on the top side of the map. We got a couple pylons. Just making sure the Vultures don't sneak up there too far without Goojila knowing exactly what is going on. Alright, so this is how Flash does, you guys. He slowly pushes out. He sends his Vultures up first, brings his tanks up behind. +1 attack is already done for his vehicle units. And trying to get on top of some of these guys with the Vultures. The Dragoons having a great time taking them down. This allows the tank to get into position, though. And there's the stasis. There's the stasis, actually putting a bunch of the tanks in the freezer. There's Zealots, Dragoons pushing on through here. You can't attack them, but they can't attack either, which is pretty good deal. Woo, Zealots just clearing out those Spider Mines with their own lives, which is not something. There's a dead Dragoon, something you necessarily want to experience. All right, so Flash, I would say, probably lost that battle. You got to come back. These will eventually time out, and you want to be ready for them when they do. Goojila, is he thinking about being ready for him? Yeah, the Zealot's getting right on top of these tanks. There's no saving it for Flash. I really don't think that there is. And when that's going to wear off soon, you guys. Going to wear off soon. Another Spider-Man takes down another Dragoon. And there it is. Oh, there's Vultures in here too. Oh, and they all get completely wiped out. Nicely done. All right, so it's 137 supply for the Protoss and 110 for Flash. But once again, what makes Flash dangerous is that he loses a single battle. He's not dead. His macro is insane. It is through the roof. He should be able to get up another army, and he already does have a bunch of tanks. Already still has a bunch of vultures from that previous battle. He'll be just fine. These Arbiters also have the recall ability to bring army units to where they are. We usually see it a lot in these pitch battles in the middle of the map. They are good for sneaking Arbiters inside your opponent's base and recalling a ton of Zealots, though. That is pretty fun. Trying to take a fourth base up here in the center section of the map and trying to take it down our vultures, but no, chased away by Dragoons, chased away by the Arbiter. Nicely done there, trying to clear out these minefields with the Dragoons. They have the +1 attack here at about 12 minutes, but that is about it. Nothing much else there. Dragoons continuing to fight through for victory for the Protoss player. And Vultures fighting against Dragoons, not what you want, but if you get up close enough and throw down some spider mines, you can do a lot of work. And actually, if you outnumber the Dragoons by this much, you can do a lot of work as well. That's something that I think sometimes we forget. Is you say, oh, this unit is bad against this unit, but if this unit outnumbers the other unit by 3 to 1 or 4 to 1, you can generally be okay in most situations, and especially in smaller numbers. So keep that one in mind. Fourth base is done as well for Flash along this right side, so both players are allowed to have their 4 bases. That fourth Nexus warping in any second now. There we go. There's that warping animation. Whoever did that warping animation just should be very proud. It's very nice. Vultures to continuing to fly around the map here and just drop spider mines willy-nilly. They don't replenish. Once you drop 3 spider mines as a vulture, that is it. You're done. You are done for the day. And so actually dying does your creator a favor. Does Flash a bit of a favor here. Oh, catching some transferring probes. Oh, the cloak. The cloak saving the probes. What a clutch Arbiter move there by our Protoss player, Goojila. Still some more vultures flying around the map, trying to see what they can do as far as slowing down this Protoss. This Protoss machine that Goojila is, he's at 330 APM, flashes around 350, is very comparable. Very comparable indeed that way. Do we have, okay, Observer comes in to see this base in the bottom, this natural base. Guess there was an attack down here, but it wasn't enough to take down the command center. Gotta watch that minimap, Falcon. Gotta watch it a little bit more closely. I will make an effort to do so. It'd be nice if I had an observer, but I don't. Dragoons just clearing out Widow Mines. They're gonna clear out 4,700 Widow Mines during the course of this game, and a little repetitive, but someone's gotta do it or your friend Bob is going to die. Cannons here at this fourth base. They are pretty good against the Vultures. The Vultures can stand in and survive long enough to pick off several of these probes, though I wish you could see the probe count because that was a massive attack by the Vultures. There are only 5 probes here. Not that you want much more than that when there are 5 mineral fields, but still, it hurts. It hurts. We don't usually see worker counts of 80 and 90 like we do sometimes see in StarCraft 2. Arbiter here getting taken down by a missile turret. And Goojila's attention seems to be elsewhere. He wants to take down this command center and attack on the fourth base. Very nicely done. Zealots here inside the main trying to kill stuff as well. Missile turret does get killed for killing the Arbiter. And the fourth base by Flash is in a lot of trouble. Tanks, oh, big old recall here on top of the tanks attacking this natural base along the left side. Well done. Oh, the recall is so good. Such a good ability here. Coming in, Flash is in trouble, you guys. Flash is in a huge amount of trouble. He's losing his natural base. He's losing his fourth base. His third base is still up. He does have enough units to come across the map here. Throwing down EMPs on the science vessels. Got ourselves some Goliaths trying to get rid of these Arbiters from distance as well. Coming in to stop this push, though. We got Dragoons. We got Zealots right on top of the tanks. That is a lot of dead Zealot sounds. Those Zealots walking into the main base of Flash, getting met by Vultures there as well as they're created. Dragoons coming in this back door, trying to get rid of these tanks. The tanks are well positioned to hit this little choke point that Dragoons have to go up. They pass so poorly there, but Flash continuing to attack here at this fifth base. Was this actually the natural base? That might have actually been the natural base. Either way, it's in a lot of trouble. There are a bunch of tanks here with +2 attack and +1 armor. There's a Goliath here as well with the same upgrades because they share them here in Brood War, and these Dragoons continuing to just make a mess of things inside the production lines of Flash. Responding Vultures, are there enough of them? I don't know. Some tanks are going back home to deal with this thing. Some tanks stay up to siege this natural base. Both players have taken major hits. Tanks here at this fourth base as well. No, Goojila's in a lot of trouble. He needs these Dragoons to do a lot of work here, or he just might straight up lose this game. A tank pops out of a factory, gets a free Dragoon kill, and then ends up dying himself. There are not many Dragoons left. Tanks coming back to clear out this Dragoon infestation. Another Dragoon on the right side getting rid of supply depots. Nobody supply block though, because they've lost so many units that it's really hard to get supply block there. Bringing up his on-fire command center is Flash to replant at a non-gas base, which is not generally how you want to have to do things, but that's okay. We can roll with it. Command center is adding on a ComSat station there. That's pretty interesting stuff as well. And what is it? 111 supply for the Terran compared to 121 for the Protoss. So he's doing okay. He's actually Zealot Dragooning these siege tanks cut out in the open. Massive, massive get there for our Protoss player. Did he bring an observer is the question of the day. He did not. He's just, actually, you can kill the spider mines. You have enough Dragoons focusing them down because they have to pop up and uncloak themselves for a second before they explode. Got one there. Army with science vessels and tanks trying to come down this left side, and not even in siege mode because that's better against Zealots. There's no minimum attack range in that situation, but they do take down this expansion of Flashes. Flash, he's kind of confined a little bit here. There's another base up here for Goojila where he needs to get these probes to work, and he's getting the probes to work. There's no automatic rallies, you guys. Every probe that's made, you have to tell them where to harvest. It just adds a level of complexity, a level of difficulty to this game that StarCraft 2 players just do not completely understand. Probes here at this third base. They should probably go mine somewhere, but this is way oversaturated. There's really no other bases to try and take right now. Arbiter cloaking some Zealots and Dragoons and an Observer, allowing for the clearing out of these spider mines. Goojila might have this win, you guys. I'm not going to call it early because it is still a little bit early, but it's 106 to 115 total supply. Goojila he's down a little bit in that total supply count. I really wish I knew how many of these were workers. Recall used where? Where'd you go with the recall? Over on this base on the right side again. Flash forced to retreat, losing more of these SCVs. Gonna lose another command center. I don't see any way. Well, he could save it if these Dragoons don't try to take it down. They have +2 attack, doing 20 damage, +4. And Zealots again inside the main base. It's a short jaunt from the little fourth base along the right side here. They're gonna try to chase these SCVs down. Actually, killing a Goliath would be good. You're going to lose your Arbiter. Arbiter a little bit smart enough to retreat. Not smart enough to not die, though. Did they kill that? No. The command center is dying. It's flying up to this top left side again. Flash with the attack into the main base. Directly into the main base of Goojila here. He's got his Goliaths with their +2 armor as well. Is there anything to stop this? I just don't see it. Are we going to base race, ladies and gentlemen? It might turn into a base race. I just feel like Flash has more stuff at the Protoss army than Goojila has at the Terran base here. EMP is thrown down, removing the shields from the Dragoons, from everything Protoss has, actually. EMP is amazing against Protoss. You really want them science vessels. Arbiter comes in, gets destroyed. Dragoons come in, get destroyed here as well. Does anybody have any money? 200 minerals in the bank for the Terran player and like 11 for Goojila. This is going to come down to it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know who's going to win this. I might have to swing my attitude back towards saying that Flash has this. It's just a very small group of Zealots and Dragoons here. If they can get this tank, good tank micro though, no. Good tank micro. EMP thrown down by that science vessel. The Dragoons are very, very low on HP. And the Dragoons are going to get destroyed. Goliath with the assist as well. Meanwhile, everything in the main base is just dying for Goojila. He didn't have enough for the base race. He didn't have enough units. He's got a couple Zealots and a Dragoon along this right side. They could have been really useful during that attack, but instead, they were not useful during that attack because they just kind of stood there. That is how this works in Brood War, you guys. Sometimes you lose track of units. It's hard to get... Stasis throws down a couple tanks, so maybe Goojila. I'm going to stop calling it. I'm going to stop predicting. At this point, I'm just tongue-tied. I'm tongue-tied at the high level of Brood War that we are experiencing here today. That base, we've seen this before. Dead base, fourth for Flash, is forced to fly it on up over where it is injured. SCV repairs it. Happily mining there. Really got to kill these tanks. It just takes forever for them to come out of stasis. If they lowered that, it'd be okay. Actually, some Goliaths coming up to this base. They do get scouted. They do get scouted here by War Prism, and fighting. The tanks show up, though. Retreat. There are too many tanks. Too many tanks. Where's the army? Where's the army? Here's some of the army for Goojila. He's just going nuts with this stuff. Zealots do pick off a Goliath. Tanks are not in siege mode, so they're okay against the Zealots. Science vessel does get killed. And one Dragoon standing in. Not going to happen. Oh, dropping more Zealots, though. Oh, the micro required to try to pin these. Oh, kills 2 Zealots. Nicely positioned. With the Zealots, kills 2 tanks. Does Goojila there. And it's 87 supply for the Terran player, 53 for the Protoss. He manages to save the day just a little bit, but guess what's here? Another attack of Vultures and Goliaths. There are just a few Zealots. This is not going to go very well for our Protoss player at all. Look at the Zealots. Just getting evaporated there. I don't think they can dodge that, even though the animation looks pretty silly. Couple Dragoons trying to save the day. War Prism gets destroyed. War Prism. I keep calling them War Prisms. They're shuttles, you guys. They're shuttles in Brood War. I've been doing that the whole game, haven't I? Shuttles. They can't warp anything in. They are not War Prisms. As it turns out, Dragoon dead, probes dying. This is the final mining base of Goojila. Ladies and gentlemen, also pushing the front here with even more of these Vultures. He manages to do these attacks at 2 places at the same time in Brood War, which is impressive in StarCraft 2, but it is more impressive in StarCraft Brood War. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to say it for everybody who is watching today. All right, Flash has this thing in hand, I think. He's got 2 mining bases. There's effectively 0 mining bases for Goojila right now. He's got 29 total supply. This base is under lockdown as a tank sieges onto it. And where's our... Do we have a final push from Goojila? I wish you could see how many units he had left. I think this is it, and that's the good game! That's the good game out of Goojila! Goojila has left the game, and Flash is your victor today. Well done to Flash. I mean, people know who Flash is more than they know who Goojila is. Goojila is no slouch. If you can push Flash to a 24-minute game, you're going to be okay. I mean, he did, right? He had Flash on effectively 1 mining base for a good chunk of the last 10 minutes. He just couldn't quite hold off the pushes with the siege tanks, with the Goliaths, with the Vultures continually flying around killing his Zealots. Just a beautiful, beautiful display from Flash, and that's what Brood War is all about, is beautiful displays. All right, so that's going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another StarCraft Brood War upload. Go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, and Patreon, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.